We are live for your morning at the intersection of Yonge and Finch, which is the beginning of a crime scene that stretches more than 2 kilometers, where just yesterday, in minutes, 10 people were struck and killed by a van. One of the people that was on scene saw the van drive down the sidewalk is the gentleman beside me. This is Steve Quaratesi. Steve, you live in this area. You were outside one of the businesses. Tell us what you saw. What happened?
Well, I was just literally stepping out of my building to go down the street, down Yonge Street, to do a little bit of shopping. And I had just stopped for a few seconds when the van drove right by me.
How fast was it going?
I guess about 60 kilometers an hour. It was hard to say. My head was tilted down and I was lighting a cigarette, so if I hadn't have done that, I probably would have been in his path. Then he went from being on the sidewalk, deliberately going into the intersection to hit the man crossing the street, and then he carried on back onto the sidewalk and continued driving down. Now, the man who got hit, he got hit so hard, he was lying right in the middle of the road. So I ran into the street to stop the cars from running over the guy. And then I just stayed with him for a little while. And the poor guy had blood coming out of his mouth, and he had a really bad scar on the side of his hip. And then another gentleman had come down and said to the police officer that had arrived that a few more people had been struck up at Yonge and Finch. So I ran up the road, and there were people literally lying all over the sidewalk. Some of them had been passed away.
What did you think had happened at that point, Steve?
Well, my main concern was the gentleman lying on the road. Just from what I heard, there was a van driving on the sidewalk. Everything was happening so quickly. I was just following the instructions of the police officer.
Was it loud?
Not really, no. It was not where I was, because there was only just a few people there. But as I came up to Yonge and Finch, yeah, it started to get a lot louder, and people were just going crazy. They were doing CPR on people. There were a few bodies lying on the road there in pools of blood. It was not a very good scene. It was very awful.
How did you sleep last night, and how are you doing this morning?
Didn't sleep very good last night at all, and still not doing very well this morning. This is just all sort of a big reminder of what happened yesterday, and I just came to put a flower here at the memorial for those victims and for the family and friends who are okay. What else can I say? I mean,
what is this area normally like this time of day, Steve?
Right now at this time, everyone's getting ready to go to work. It's quite busy. Yesterday afternoon, a lot of people were coming out of the restaurants. There's a lot of restaurants around here. It's usually quite busy in this area.
Yeah. Quiet this morning.
Very, very quiet this morning. Yeah, there's barely anybody out here right now. So, completely different scenario as what it would normally be.
Steve, thanks for talking to us this morning.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much. Take care.
All right, I want to give our viewers a quick update this morning on the suspect, 25-year-old Alec Manassian. He has arrived at court this morning. We know that he is set to appear at around 10 a.m., and we'll learn more about charges at that time. His social media has identified him as a student at Seneca College. His neighbors told one of our reporters, Peter Ackman, last night that he was a gentleman who kept to himself. You saw this video, most likely, that he was arrested after this incredible standoff with a Toronto police officer. He had yelled he had a gun. He pulled something out of his pocket. The officer could easily identify it was not a weapon. He was then taken down. He was arrested, brought into custody, and is now, as we said, at court this morning, awaiting to appear at 10 a.m. Something else we've learned this morning is the name of one of the 10 people that were killed just across the street. Her name is Anne-Marie D'Amico. She was a Ryerson University grad, Ryerson University here in the city of Toronto. She worked just a block away, the company Invesco confirming that one of their employees had passed away. That's the latest from here at the scene at Yonge and Finch this morning in North Toronto, the scene of a van crash that killed 10 people, injured 15. We'll send it back to the studio.